Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 22 of the Stock Guy and Alex Show, the podcast covering topics around this world: business, news, markets, money, sports. If people are talking about it, when people talk about it, Stocky and I talk about it. The Stock Guy and Alex Show can be watched, listened, and viewed on YouTube and Spotify. Follow the show on Twitter, Insta, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the other major socials. Oh, you did just put some gel in your hair.
Oh yeah, I have to look like less homeless when we do this.
I just looked over and then I was seeing the hair in front of your eyes, and then I looked over and I didn't see it. Looks good.
Did you hear the big news that Spotify is actually going to be allowing video on their podcast now?
Yeah, I was seeing something about that. I thought it was just rumored though. Is that 100%?
Well, I mean they're doing it. They're already starting to launch the beta program for it.
Maybe we just upload the video from our YouTube videos onto Spotify.
I really wonder. We can't see the analytics, but I wonder. I'm sure like we're still a new podcast, and not a lot of people listen. Everybody's got a fucking podcast, but I'd really be curious to see the analytics of like where we get the most viewership. Is it from Spotify or is it from YouTube? I would imagine Spotify, because most people like have that attached to their car, and they don't have to search for it like in their YouTube and all that stuff like that. I'd be really curious, but Spotify, at least I'm aware of, doesn't show you your analytics, right?
No, I haven't seen any, but I'm sure they do. I haven't dug deep. It's probably we upload to SoundCloud and then that goes to Spotify. So it's probably maybe it's pulled on SoundCloud. Maybe.
I'm just curious. How you been? How was your week?
Bro, my week is going incredible. It's going amazing. I don't even know what I've done this week. These days, the days are just so crazy. They're so insane. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So it feels like things are going amazing. Things feel good. I just can't tell you what I did yesterday or the day before. I have no idea. How are you doing?
Bad. The stock market has basically, for layman terms, crashed for 3 days. It all started on my birthday on Thursday. Everything was great. SPY hit 250. The market was in full swing. We're back in and then since 10 a.m. on my birthday until now, the Nasdaq tech has dropped 10%. I mean, we've seen just companies lose hundreds of billions of dollars in valuations in 3 days. It's insane. But the one little silver lining, and I want to tell you this will be of all the plays I've made in my life in the stock market, this is going to be probably the one that I remember the most. Last week, Carvana had their earnings, and I have a strategy that I play after hours when there's earnings, and I love it because when the numbers come out, initially sometimes there's a gut reaction. The computers sell off everything if it doesn't hit a certain number, and it overreacts, and I jump in there, I buy the dip, wait for everybody else to come in, buy it up, sell to them on the way up, make a nice profit. Did that today with Microsoft, actually, before we got on here. Bought Microsoft when it fell to 266, just ran to 287. It's 10% on shares after hours, done, out, and I'm good for the day. But Carvana fell 35%. It fell all the way down to $69. It was insane. I bought it 76, 72, and 69. My average was $73, and I had like $25,000 in shares. Like, it was insane. But I was waiting. Nothing happened. And then it took off to $100 a share. So I sold it like $88 because I didn't know it was going to go that high. That was crazy though, right? Like $20 a share. And you know what I did? I took the money I made from that, and I finally bought a car on Carvana, and it's delivered a week from yesterday to my house on Monday.
Yo, big ups! I know you've been looking for that car purchase for a minute now. You've been in the car market for what seems to be like 4 months now. You've been looking for a car.
It's just been on the back burner because we don't really travel a lot. We don't do that. And I just rent a car every time we go somewhere because it's cheaper that way. But do you
leave the house every day?
No.
How do you leave the house every week?
Yes.
So what about Monday through Friday? Or are you just doing weekend? Is it just like weekend stuff?
Very rarely. Like on the weekend, I might go get something. We get our groceries and delivered to us. Amazon delivered to us. We have a park here in the neighborhood. So other than taking the dog out to the dog park, every weekend, I don't leave the house.
But you get out of the house. You step out of the house every day.
Yeah, I go water my dead grass and I take my kid to the park, but that's it. But like I don't get in there. Like the only time we leave more than a mile and a half from the house is when we go on a road trip somewhere and we just rent a car. It's so much cheaper. $170, $250. No, that's the cost of insurance every month, right? And it's for a weekend, take it, go, return it, and be done with it, right? I don't have to worry about maintenance, I don't have to worry about mileage, I don't have to worry about payments. It's great. But now that the in-laws are here for 4 or 6 months, and now that the kid's getting bigger and everything, it was time. So I went on and I found me a GMC Acadia 2015 with only 52,000 miles on it. It was like $25,000. So I used the money that I got from Carvana to buy a car down payment on Carvana for myself. So there you go.
Hold on, I'm pulling up a picture. What color?
Black.
Oh, black, bro. You fancy.
How is black fancy?
Black fancy. Everyone knows that's the
black
fancy
in Florida
color.
sucks because what happens is we have so much sun and we have so much fucking just salt water and shit that your paint just it gets thinned out from the sun and then the salt just destroys it too. So you don't want black in Florida.
This looks good though, man. Open image in new tab. Let's make this a little bigger. Yeah, man. This is like the 7-seater. You got that third row back there?
I got the big boy.
Yeah. There's what else is in this class? There's the Toyota, what is it called? Sequoia. Did you look at a Sequoia?
I don't know, dude. I'm not getting into a whole thing about this. All right, I got a car. We'll see how it works out. Okay.
Listen, it's good, man. I'm happy you got a car, but but you got the 7-seater. This is the big boy.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a minivan, so I figured this would be big enough because my idea is that now that I got the kid and she's growing up, we're gonna be taking road trips, and if we want to go like on a camping trip, you can always lay down the seat in the back, and it's so big that you can basically have your own mobile tent. You know what I mean?
I like that move though. I like that move. Did you talk about that on stream? The Carvana, like you made it, and that like you made it.
Yeah, it was an amazing story. Like I made a whole bunch of money when everybody was laughing at me. Like I have people in there that were like, haha, it's still falling stock, you get screwed. I'm like, why do you root against somebody? Like, why do you want someone to lose money? That doesn't make any sense. And then it fucking moved. It went insane. It ran 51% from bottom to top after hours. And I didn't, obviously get all of it, but I got a good chunk of it. And I was like, thank you. And I went and I said, there you go. That's I'm going to use the money from Carvana shares to buy a car in Carvana.
Yeah, that's big.
Not an ad, by the way.
That's a really good story. You should clip that and send it to them. See if you can get a little something on the top.
No. I have a bad experience with advertisers and partners.
Yeah, it's been really bad. You've had a terrible track record of it.
You don't know anything about them. I've had dozens of them.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know anything about any of them. But what I do know,
you said all of them.
But what I do know about is what the.
Are you gaslighting me?
The whole. I didn't say nothing, bro. What are you talking about?
How should I reach out to them? You're right. I'm gonna reach out to Carvana. You think I should go through Twitter, or is it too late for that?
I think you should go through Twitter. You probably your free speech to speak to Carvana is not going to be upended anytime soon. If you guys are living in a hole and haven't checked the internet, you have no idea what we're talking about. But Elon Musk has an agreement in place to acquire Twitter for about $44 billion. This is an article on Cheddar.com. We use Cheddar sometimes to reference articles here, and Cheddar is going to be one of the 1 million news outlets that are covering the story that Elon Musk.
Why are you like having to preface this by saying that? Is there like a history of you and Cheddar?
What is that? What are you talking about?
Like instead of just saying buy Cheddar and going on, you like took the time to say it's just one of many. Like, is it like some kind of like I don't know. Why did you feel the need to make that statement?
It wasn't about the need. It was about the comfort of the sentence. I felt rhetorically that it was a nice, comfortable little in between.
Why? Because it's called Cheddar and it sounds like it's not very legitimate. Like you've never said that after you said CNN or Wall Street Journal or the New York Times. You never said, according to the New York Times, by the way, guys, this is just one of many publications that we use to reference our stories. Like why Cheddar?
Probably because if you wouldn't have interrupted, I would have said, I would have finished my sentence with the fact that this is going to be one of many of the millions of news outlets that are covering the Elon Musk purchases Twitter story. Illustrating that yes, this is
one. Why did you point that out? Because it was Cheddar. Like I don't get it.
More like this isn't just this just isn't a story that just Cheddar's covering. I mean,
well, you just said everybody in the world knows this, unless you've been living under a rock. Like you just made it known that it was a very well-known story. So I still want to know why you singled out Cheddar. Listen, Cheddar, if you're listening, I do not condone the actions or the tone or the words of this man.
So cheddar.com, one of the many websites that we use to reference articles here on this podcast, is also going to be one of the many websites covering the Elon Musk has purchased Twitter, at least has an agreement in place to acquire Twitter for about $44 billion. Elon Musk reached an agreement to buy Twitter for roughly $44 billion on Monday, promising a more lenient touch to policing content on the platform where he promotes his interests, attacks critics, and opines on social and economic issues to more than 83 million followers. Did you see the picture that he posted of Bill Gates?
And you know what's funny is that Bill Gates announced that he had a huge, like $500 million short position in Tesla.
Yeah.
And Tesla had one of its single worst days in recent memory today.
Bill Gates, Elon Musk tweet. Yeah, he posted this picture, and I thought it was just literally out of nowhere. But then I learned about that later, the shorting of the stock or whatever. So I can only assume that it's that type of stuff that Elon's going to say, hey, this stuff goes. But hey, can we answer the big question? What's going to happen here? Is Trump's account coming back? Is that what I feel like? That's the big elephant in the room. Is he going to unban the real Donald Trump or real Donald Trump or whatever his Twitter handle was?
I want to say Twitter can go fuck itself because they still do not verify me. Okay, I put a verification request in a long time ago when they opened it back up, got denied, right? And they say it takes like up to 30 days to get back to you. I put in a request again a month ago, and this time I put it as a public figure. I put in it says give us 3 news articles, like major publications that talk about you or that you're involved in. So I gave them Wall Street Journal and The Verge and Bloomberg and CNBC, all these things, because I was on CNBC, I was with AOC, I've been a contributor, and they got back to me within 8 hours. 8 hours, hundreds of millions of people applying. They got back to me within 8 hours to deny me. Okay, to deny me. All right. First of all, it doesn't make any sense because I see people out there who don't do anything, have 20,000 followers, and just deep throat a fucking microphone all day, and they've got a blue check mark. Okay, but no, not the stock guy.
Do you really want to Is it really important to have
one? For advertising purposes.
Why? Because the blue check marks can earn more. Or what? You just think it's like a legitimate thing? Like you can.
Well, no. It's like it shows advertisers, especially people who want to focus on your social media, and also people who want to find stuff about stocks on Twitter. There's so much scam shit out there and so much bullshit out there.
That makes sense.
That it kind of lets people know that, hey, listen, this isn't some guy who's pumping dumping shit and NFTs and stuff. It kind of it's a little bit helpful.
Is this Twitter's way of saying, hey, this is one of those scam guys? This is one of those.
I don't know, but I'm on articles and stuff, and I don't have any history of any of that bullshit. I don't do that stuff, but whatever. But yes, Elon's buying them. But a little caveat there is that actually 50% of the financing is coming through Morgan Stanley. That's why I actually thought the deal was actually going to go through, because he's not 100% behind it. They're helping finance it, which gives a little bit of credibility to it. And you know what it is? It feels like one of those ones where if somebody goes to a bar, some drunk rich kid goes to a bar and he drinks too much, or the bouncer doesn't let him in. He's like, do you know who I fucking am? And they're like, no, I don't give a shit who you are. I'm gonna come back and my dad's gonna buy this fucking bar. And sure as shit, he goes to his rich dad. His dad buys the bar just because the kid's pissed off that he didn't get to have his way. And then what ends up happening? It ends up falling apart. Now, here's the thing. I personally believed, and I've always said this about Twitter, I've never invested in Twitter stock before. And the reason is because their leadership is a bunch of shitheads. No offense, but they run that business emotionally. Knee-jerk gut reaction. Somebody says something we don't like, we ban them. Oh, we want to get rid of political advertising, and we want to do this. They do it through emotional business decisions rather than calculated business decisions. Even Jack Dorsey kind of slyly said the same thing. The board and the people who run it are just they're so fucking, I don't want to use the word snowflake, because I feel like anybody can be a snowflake if their feelings are hurt, depending on, if I say something about guns, people on the right are snowflakes. If I say something about fucking guns, people on the left are snowflakes, right? Everybody's a snowflake nowadays. But the thing is it's still, with one person taking it over in a reaction like this, generally that doesn't lead to positive leadership. However, Elon Musk does have a good track record of putting people in place to run businesses in a successful way. So we'll see. But as far as Trump, no, he's not going to come back right away, because he has way too much money tied up in this Truth Network thing, that if he comes back to Twitter right away, it'll take away everything that they've built and all the money invested in that. So I think they're going to wait until that platform gets off the ground, and he either sells his stake in it or he gets his piece of the pie, and then he's going to get back on Twitter.
So the article says Musk said in a joint statement with Twitter that he wants to make the service better than ever with new features such as getting rid of automated spam bots and making its algorithms open to the public to increase trust. Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated, Musk said, adding hearts, stars, and rocket emojis in a tweet that highlighted the statement. But then there's this, this other article and on this website called, apnews.com, which is also one of the many websites that we use to reference articles here on the Stock Guy and Alex show. They get into the little bit. They say next comes the real challenge for the world's richest person, fulfilling his promise to make Twitter better than ever as a lightly regulated haven for free speech. It says his vision for improving the 16-year-old company leans heavily on his pledge to make speech as free as reasonably possible on the platform, a commitment that's been celebrated on the political right and among followers of former President Donald Trump, whose recent account was banned, or whose account last year was permanently banned. So I mean, his whole thing is the free speech thing. I get the emotional leadership on Twitter side. I actually think that Twitter just hasn't been utilized appropriately for business. Like they haven't really optimized it for the advertisers or really anything. It just feels kind of like a cesspool of, like what you said, like emotional ideas. Like there was the Twitter Blue thing. Did anybody sign up for Twitter Blue? Do people even? It doesn't
even work. I mean, they're doing the little places or whatever where you can like get little groups to talk together. But I've tried those. They're okay, but they kind of get boring because it's so like it's a little echo chamber and shit. Like here's the thing though. Like I said, I'm all about if you're a platform, you gotta be open to everyone. But the thing about Twitter that always pissed me off, and the same thing for Facebook on the other side, is it's like you want to have your cake and eat it too, right? Like you want to be a platform so you don't have any of the regulations, you don't have any of the lawsuits or anything you have to worry about being held liable or anything like that. So you got to be hands off. But Twitter wants to have the cake and eat it too. They want to be a publisher as well. They want to tell you what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say. And I think the big thing was, regardless of your political leanings or what you think about it, is the whole Hunter Biden thing. I think that was the tipping point as far as what's considered, keeping a site safe versus censorship, right? And so Twitter was blocking, deleting, or flagging any content about Hunter Biden and a laptop, right? And that whole story that happened. And this was a lead up to the election. And a lot of people are like, well, why? This is a publication. This is people sharing ideas. This isn't, misinformation. This isn't that. Why are you doing that? And a lot of people said, wait, they also blocked political advertising, knowing that Trump was going to be running and that his big presence on Twitter and no other politician was. So a lot of people felt that this was very anti-Trump, anti-right wing or positive left wing, regardless of the politics of it. I think that still brought to light that that's what it is. And we've talked about it before. A lot of people think that censorship is, people won't let me say what I want to say on a private platform. Yes and no. Remember, if it says it's a publisher and it's private and they're in charge of the content, then it's not. If they're a platform and they're getting rid of stuff that's not considered harmful or misinformation, then they are censoring. And the whole idea of censoring, for those who don't understand what it is, the idea of censoring is summed up in a very good old quote that says, censorship is telling me I can't eat steak because babies can't chew.
I don't understand that. You're going to have to break that down for me a little bit slower, or
you don't understand. I can't eat steak because babies can't chew.
Yeah, explain that one a little bit more. I'm not very smart, so explain that one.
Basically, what it is it's saying that we have to get rid of something because it could negatively affect somebody else, right? And it's not physically. And it's not definitely going to happen, but there's a chance that it could. And when it comes to the government, they're not supposed to do that. As far as private businesses, that's fine. Like airlines, right? One fucking dumbass, accidentally ate a peanut or grabbed the peanut bag instead of the pretzel bag on a plane, ate the peanut, had a peanut allergy and fucking died. Now I can't have goddamn peanuts on the plane. That is bullshit, but it's a private business and I can take my business elsewhere and fucking row across the ocean if I want to.
And that's the thing about Twitter, man, is people have all these...
but Twitter tries to play the game of they're not a private business. They're an open platform.
No, but I'm less about Twitter, more about people's reactions to this Elon Musk news. People are like, oh, leave Twitter alone. We love this place. Like, you're going to ruin it, whatever, this, that, or the other. Like, just go somewhere. Don't use it. Like, if you like, I saw some people say like, oh, they need to bring the old internet back. And I know this is just the few and the far between. I'm talking about like the vocal minority here, but they're like, bring back like some of the other websites, whatever Zanga or, like MySpace and AIM and all this stuff. And I'm reading this stuff on Twitter. I'm like, the only reason why those places don't exist is because you stopped using them. And all you do is use Twitter. And I saw a lot of people say, why didn't he just start his own social media? Well, why would he do that when no one's going to leave Twitter? Twitter's where everyone wants to keeps wanting to hang out.
It reminds me of the whole Google Plus debacle. Like, if anybody was going to be able to build a platform to rival Facebook, it was going to be Google with their money behind it. And if they failed doing that, Microsoft failed with Mixer. It's not as simple as doing that, because there was somebody who has said, he could have spent, $1 billion creating a new platform, gave every single person on Twitter $200 to come join as a sign up bonus, and still have saved $10 billion or some shit like that. But it's not like that. It's not, that's not how it works. You don't just bust into, look at, you own a coffee business, right? You're trying to break into a market that has millions of competitors and some really big boys out there. It is tough, and you're dealing with a product that you just have to get in front of people and get them to try.
Yeah, trials are our biggest deal. Like that, like in the algebra of our business, repeats. You can always just count on your repeat if your product's good enough quality. But trial's the thing that you just painstakingly put all the hours in, and you say, how the hell do we get people to try it? Social.
You have like social media and influencers that you can do, but something like Twitter and getting a new network. Trump. Here's the thing. Trump and his little app, right? When he came out, day one, it was number one in the App Store, right? And then by the next week, it had dropped 50 places, and now it's off the top 1,000 or whatever. Like, it's that quickly it goes away.
That's because So we sell coffee. Coffee is very personal. Coffee is very individual. It's like, oh, do you like what you drink in the morning? And if not, find something that you like, and that's very up to you. And you're completely unhinged and completely just, who cares who's drinking what? You got yours right here, but Twitter's selling community. Like, that's completely reliant on who else is around you. It's like a bar. It's like a bar.
You guys do in a way. You focus on influencers and streamers who have a strong community bond, right? You don't just go with anybody who has a lot of viewers. If you did that, then you never know if their viewers are going to stay or if they're going to do it. But you guys focus on finding...
That's not product, though. That's marketing and trying to drive interest in trial. What I'm talking about is Twitter's product. It's at its core is community. Like what it has for people.
Hate change, Alex. That's what it is. People hate change.
Yeah, well, they just won't. People won't leave Twitter. Like, They're not
going to leave Twitter. It's kind of like all the people who say, "Well, Walmart denied somebody carrying a gun. I'm gonna boycott Walmart." No, you fucking aren't.
Yeah,
no,
you're gonna keep going to Walmart. You're gonna keep buying stuff on Amazon. You're gonna keep rage tweeting on Twitter, and it's all gonna stay the same. And honestly, I would assume at this point the product is most likely going to get better. Not overnight. It's going to take a minute for him to actually get ownership of the damn thing and actually get in there and figure out what's going on. But, by this time next year, we might be looking at in a situation where the algorithm's a little bit better.
Yeah, but at the same time, we think it'll be better. But sometimes by making too much free reign, we can actually ruin the product.
You know that when you open up the YouTube app, like, this is a very subjective thing, but when you open up the YouTube app, it does such a good job of telling you exactly the video that it thinks you want to watch in that moment in time. And like, that's just the algorithm being really good. And Twitter, I always feel like, it's good, but it could be better. And I always feel like the YouTube algorithm is like the gold standard. So, who knows? He's going to tinker. He's going to get under the hood and try to make things better. And I can't tell you if I'm going to use it more or less. I'll probably just keep using it the exact same.
It's not going to change my life in any way.
It's honestly not going to change any of our lives in any way, but people are infatuated with these billionaire stories. We talk about them all the damn time. The billionaire stories are like this one, for some reason, so freaking, I don't know, man. They just get so many opinions out of so many people. Gets opinions out of us. Gets opinions out of everybody on Twitter, obviously. It's amazing. I actually saw someone tweet earlier that, and I wish I would have saved it and sent it to you, but they had tweeted a screenshot of an interaction they had with Elon a few years ago on the platform, and they like, he was bitching or something about Twitter, and he responded, "Well, why don't you buy it?" And then Elon said, "Oh, how much is Twitter worth?" And like, that was like 2 years ago. So like now here he is buying it. I wish I would have saved that and sent it to you. But at the end of the day, this is going to really impact none of our lives in any way. But it's fascinating to talk about. But speaking of also another thing that's going to impact our lives.
Like we spent longer on that than we usually do on football talk, but it's a good conversation.
It is, and it's kind of dominating the conversation right now.
And it's clickbaity. Get fucked, viewers.
Speaking of things that impact our lives, in no way, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial has been this week, and I'm just basically I'm showing the article right here. It's Johnny Depp ends testimony, key moments from his 4 days on the stand. There's a big article here, guys. It says Johnny Depp ended his testimony on Monday in his defamation trial against his ex-wife Amber Heard by declaring himself to be a victim of domestic violence. Depp's attorney played an audio recording in which Heard suggested that if Depp went public with claims that she had beaten him, no one would believe it. Tell the world, Heard said on the recording. Tell them, Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim too of domestic violence, and I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you. Asked by his lawyer if he is a victim of domestic violence, Depp said, "Yes, I am." So. But you've been pretty deep in this. What's been going on, right? I mean, like, what's good? What's been happening here?
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, okay, so I'm not going to pretend to be one. But we stumbled across it while we were talking about Disney stock, and we were talking about movies and stuff like that. I was like, oh, by the way, Johnny Depp's the trial's going on. So we stumbled on my stream, and we got heavily invested into it. Today was a bit boring because there was a really hot doctor on, and she was just, not that that's her only qualification, but obviously that helped. But she was talking about, like, she was just, bro, this is why I don't tell, if I ever have like a real like high-priced therapist, first of all, I ain't paying nobody that. And second of all, I ain't telling them shit after watching that trial today. Fuck client, doctor privilege. They were airing laundry out like crazy. That therapist, that doctor or psychologist, where the fuck she was, which I found her Instagram too, but it was out there airing out her everything about their sessions and everything wrong with her. And I'm sitting there like, it's like the idea of, you've got your secret little porn folder open, you're getting ready to watch it, and you just have a heart attack and die. And they come in and find your body, and it's all exposed right there. And now everyone gets to see it, and there's nothing you can do. At least in this case, you're dead. Or what would be worse is if you go to the hospital. Maybe that was the better analogy. You're at the hospital, and they're going through your shit. That's what's happening. I mean, this woman is airing it out. But that was fun. That was great. I missed the cop on the stand, but we watched Johnny Depp testify. And you know what? Regardless of, somebody came into my chat today, and it was a woman, and she says, "Why do you pigs?"
When she says you pigs, who's she referring to?
I would assume men. She goes, "Why do you pigs hate Amber Heard?" And I wasn't gonna respond to it because I don't hate Amanda Heard, and I said, we don't hate Amanda Heard, right? I don't know Amanda Heard. Hate's a very strong word. I said, what I can tell you is based on what I've seen now, and it can change if something else comes out, but based on the way she's just stone cold in there and doesn't show any kind of whatever, and all the recordings, and the fact that his finger was cut off, and the fact that there was all this stuff. I said, I'm not saying that they weren't both equally at fault for being shitty people. Okay. They both were dealing with their own issues, but for her to go around saying that he domestically abused her and then lost so many roles in big movies in different series and lost out on so much, got cut ties with Disney, and pooh, lost $50 million. It's not about that. Lost all this. And then it turns out that she likely was the one who did the abusing. And at the same time, even though that's come out, she's still being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a domestic violence advocate for speeches. And it just reminds me of, there's a lot of shitty guys out there. Okay. There's a lot of shitty guys out there who do a lot of shitty things. Some of them get caught, some of them don't. And I hate the fact that there's people that have abusers that didn't get that got away. But at the same time, I know of a lot of men who have been accused of doing things that it was false, who had their lives ruined. Okay, there's a very, very famous case of a football player who was a college athlete, was a 5-star recruit, was going to go to the NFL and be a millionaire and have this wonderful life. And a girl accused him of rape. He went to prison for 5 years. It turned out she lied. She admitted the DNA test, the whole 9 yards. She wanted to get clout. Or no, it was because she didn't want her parents knowing she had sex or whatever like that. I don't know. And then they exonerated him after a long time in prison. But his life was over. His life was ruined, right? And so when you catch somebody in the act, you want to see them go down. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying we have all the facts yet, but that's what I said. And then I told the girl at the same time, it's not that we hate her. It's that if in fact this is a case of that, we want to see him get exonerated. But I want to see her, if she did do this, take the punishment for it. But I don't hate her. She has a lot of deep-rooted issues, and I want to see her get help. I don't root for anyone, especially somebody with mental illness, to fail. I want them to succeed. I want them to get better. I want them to get the help they need. So I don't hate her. He also needs to get help because he's got a drug and alcohol problem. They both need help. So it's just juicy drama, though. And
why is this on TV?
Why would it not be on TV? Have you not seen what we've got? We have the greatest fucking clip, if you've seen the YouTube video of Johnny Depp, roasting the lawyer back and forth. But the best thing to come out of this is Amanda Turd.
What is that? What is Amanda Turd?
Because apparently she got upset and shit in his bed.
Oh my God, bro.
So now her new nickname is Amanda Turd. I know that's terrible. I know it sounds bullyish, but it fucking is great. It's juicy drama.
No. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not asking you why are you watching it. Like, there's trash TV out there. There's all sorts of trash TV out there, and it's just one of those like those guilty pleasure things.
It's Captain Jack Sparrow.
I know. I'm not saying that this is not great. I'm just wondering how does a trial like this end up on television? It's like the actual mechanics.
Well, because we are driven by views. The same reason that we put clickbaity ass titles and thumbnails for this. We're driven by views and clicks, and that is what it's doing. Why would you not put this trial? I mean, look at what happened with the O.J. Simpson trial.
They got consent though, don't they? Don't they got to be like, yeah, you could put this on TV? Like, don't Johnny and Amber got to be like...
I'm sure it'll probably help, maybe they'll help pay for the settlement or the court fees or something like that.
Maybe that's the case. I just feel like but
remember, a lot of court is open. It's open to the public anyways. Like, there's a lot of court is open to the public for a reason, because historically it had to be open to the public. Otherwise you would know if somebody was being screwed over or not. Like, it's an open forum anyways. It's just a lot of courts decide not to. They record it. They don't live it. Federal cases and cases involving minors and stuff like that are not. But other than that, it's an open forum. I mean, I don't even know if they have to have consent.
Listen, I know that I've stumbled into your stream a couple times and you guys are like freaking waist deep in this stuff, just wading ever further into this freaking murky ass water.
I love it because half the community loves it, the other fucking hates it because it's a stock stream. And so it's like, you can't help it. We're invested at this point.
Well, whatever it is, it sounds like both of them are freaking. It sounds like both of them. Usually in this kind of situation, both are kind of like, fucked up a little bit, and both of them are to blame. And there's probably
it's going to go to arbitration or mediation. The judge is going to be like, all right, you guys work this out privately.
Yeah. So, as far as trash TV goes, this will probably wind up soon. And, or it sounds like it's done, right?
No, Johnny Depp is done for now. They're bringing up the witnesses, and I think Amanda Heard still has to take the stand, and that's what I want to see, because she's been just stone cold. Like, day one, no makeup, staring into the camera. Day two, all prettied up. Day three, she looked like somebody from The Handmaid's Tale. Today, she looked like that woman from the Midsummer, and I thought I was going to get like fucking burned alive or some shit. It's intense.
Well, as far as that trash TV goes, go forth and keep consuming until it's all the way done. If you want good TV and you want it on Black Friday, Amazon is pushing the NFL to schedule exclusive Black Friday games. What I can only guess to be annually. It says Thanksgiving is known as an NFL holiday, but now the day after Thanksgiving may also be owned by the NFL as well. According to NBC Sports' Peter King, Amazon is pushing the NFL to schedule a game on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving and the biggest shopping day of the year. This was made possible by a resolution reportedly passed by team owners, giving the NFL permission to schedule 2 more teams for a second short week game, and Amazon wants that game. Amazon has become part of the NFL family in a big way, as they'll be the sole broadcaster of Thursday night football games starting in the 22 season, which is a big deal. Means it's going to probably still be on Twitch, that the Thursday night football game. I don't know if anybody out here watches that on Twitch, but they kind of do a simulcast Prime Video and Twitch type of deal. They're paying big dollars for that too. It says, why does Amazon want a Black Friday game? While Black Friday used to be an outside shopping event, people have increasingly been doing their Black Friday shopping online. They can avoid the crowds and the risk of COVID and get everything done from the comfort of their couch. With so many people doing their shopping on Amazon, the chance for targeted advertising could turn that game into a financial juggernaut for Amazon. Plus, a Black Friday game is a brand new thing, and it would belong solely to Amazon. It really would. Like, imagine like Target or whoever, you know what I mean? Like
Target.
Yeah, imagine them and whoever else, just like Walmart.com, whatever. I don't know if Amazon would do that, but like just that day in and of itself is already such a peak for Amazon. Like they're just going to drive this even further with this day. And, it's already just like a big college football day. Bro, I'm yoked for another day because Thanksgiving. Do you watch football on Thanksgiving?
No, there's three things that I try, that are complete fucking trash on Thanksgiving. And that is dry turkey, your drunk uncle yelling about Trump, and watching the Lions get beat. There's three things that always happen that I can't avoid on Thanksgiving. But you know something? Here's the thing. This is so fucking five head. This is so five head by Amazon. You spend all this money and you're like, why do they spend all this money? What's going on? What is the deal here? And think about it for a second. Not only is everybody at home watching, football and doing whatever, the wife's in the kitchen cooking, or the husband. It's 2022. I do all the Thanksgiving cooking. I stream it every year before anybody comes at me in the comments. But plus my wife can't cook for the shit. But the thing is that you got a good old boy there sitting there watching football, and everybody's always hungry because it is it's Thanksgiving dinner. You always want to make sure you have a good appetite. So you eat an early breakfast. You don't eat a lunch, and then you eat that dinner, right? And everybody's really hungry.
But dinner's always a little early. It's like 4
o'clock, but you're super hungry because you haven't eaten lunch, right? So now you're watching a football game. All right, I want you to get immersed with me here, okay? You're watching a football game. It's a football game. Maybe you enjoy it, maybe you don't. But you're drinking, hanging out with the boys. You got an empty stomach. It's grumbling. You're hungry. Seeing all these ads for wings and stuff like that's getting you going. Then all of a sudden, commercial comes across, and it's a happy family. It's a father in the backyard. Kids are playing in their playhouse, a nice little picket fence, and kid throws the ball. Son, kid throws the ball back. Good catch, kid. Wife comes out with a little bit of iced tea, and he's sitting there over his grill, in his nice clothes, and he opens up the grill, and smoke comes out, and you can just start a little bit of the savoriness. You just salivating in the back of your throat because something good's in there. And he goes down and he pulls up this perfectly just charred grilled drumstick, and he puts it on the plate, and he looks over at his neighbor and he goes, "Hey, Bob." And he looks over and, "What's up, Jim?" And Bob's over there with his grill, and he's drinking a nice iced tea with his wife in the sundress, and put it down, and put the nice melted cheese on there, and it's a nice summer day, and it says, "Now Amazon Prime 50% off for Black Friday. Get this grill." I'm going to whip out my phone and I'm going to buy that grill. I'm not buying the grill.
Is this Jim talking or Bob talking, or now are we back to you?
Jim and Bob are fictional fucking characters.
All right, we're back to you. You're whipping out your phone, buying the grill?
I'm the guy that's whipping out my phone.
Okay.
And I'm going to look up that grill because I'm fucking starving. And my wife and I sleep in a different room while I go to work all day, and my kids don't talk to me and hate me, and she drinks Xanax and fucking, drinks white wine, eats Xanax, and fucks the pool boy because I have a loveless marriage. But I'm
Is that
hungry.
You, or is that just like you speaking of the
guy,
general?
the random guy, the random
He's
guy
also fictional. He's
pretending
Three fictional characters. Two of them are kind of like deeply fictional.
Him and his buddy are sitting on the couch watching this while their wives are in the kitchen cooking, getting drunk off their drunk off their ass, both talking about who they're fucking sleeping with behind the back of their husband, and the husband's talking about whatever, and he's buying that grill because he's hungry and because he wants to be happy. All right. So I think I blacked out for a second there, but what I was trying to get at is this is a genius marketing thing for Amazon to do. You own the rights to the game, you play the game on the biggest shopping day of the year, and you're a advertising at your own advertising. You save all that money. It's your own products. You push it out to people. I think it's so smart. We'll find out though.
Listen, I'm a junkie. I'm a fiend. More football, the better. I'm already watching college football on Black Friday. Nebraska plays on Black Friday every year. But now we get an NFL game. But in addition to Black Friday, the NFL is getting even more greedy. The NFL at some point, I don't know when, at some point they need to listen to the old saying, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Because not only are they going after Black Friday, but the NFL is scheduling 3 games on Christmas Day for the first time ever, man. That is a holiday that has been dominated by the NBA. Normally on Christmas Day, I think to myself, oh man, what's the slate today? We're gonna have 5 or 6, NBA games. They're gonna start at noon. They're gonna go all the way until freaking midnight when the Warriors are playing the freaking Kings or something like that. We now have NFL to watch on Christmas, and I will not watch a second of the NBA if the NFL is on. So the NFL is now going to go on and dominate this holiday, as well as Thanksgiving, as well as Black Friday. But this article, guys, on Bleacher Report says football fans will get a day full of NFL games on Christmas, man, for the first time ever. The NFL will have 3 games on December 25th, according to the AP. There will be 2 afternoon games, which will be broadcast on CBS and Fox, and a primetime game on NBC. Christmas, when it falls on an NFL game day, we've had a lot of success there. All due respect to our friends at the NBA, it is something that our friends are interested in. They're calling out. So that's the NFL VP of Broadcasting, Mike North, literally saying, with all due respect to the NBA, we're going to have to come in and just claim this day. Sorry about it. If Christmas falls on a Sunday, it makes perfect sense. North also said on the podcast that the NFL would play at least 2 or 3 games on Christmas in 2023 because it falls on a Monday. In 2024, Christmas will be on a Wednesday, and North noted that it's unlikely the NFL schedules a midweek contest. I'm not sure we're going to play on Wednesday, North said, but when we can play on Christmas, we will. So basically that means if it's a Thursday, if it's a Friday, if it's a Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, any other day of the week, they're going to take advantage of it. They're already playing on those days. They're not playing
a lot of grill.
Yeah, that's a lot of blacking out, talking about the fictional Bob and Jim getting cheated on.
Nah, dude, I was just looking at this. Sam's Club, $600 for this. Look at this. I'll send it to you.
Are you shopping right now?
No, but
yeah, you're shopping. Don't say no.
I'm hungry now, and I'm thinking about a grill.
It's okay. You can be shopping right now.
I don't. Here you go. Look at that grill, though. Like I'm just saying that. Like I'm not a grilling guy. It's like a pool, right? Like here's some little life advice for any guy out there who's going to buy a house, who's got a family. Don't let your family, your wife or your kids, fucking pressure you into buying a house with a pool. It's the biggest goddamn money pit of all time. It's like anything. You get used to it, and it gets taken for granted, just like a marriage, right? Think about this for a second. You spend an extra $50,000 to $70,000 on your house for a fucking in-ground pool. Okay, first of all, you got to make sure you got your fencing up, because in most states, if a kid comes in, there shouldn't be any goddamn kids in my lawn anyways, but if a kid comes in, falls into the pool and drowns, you're liable for it. So you got to build that up, right? Then you got to have a big fucking screen over it, because otherwise it's a disaster to clean. Even then, you've got to clean it out. You got to check the pH levels. You got to have a runner on it. You got to fill it. You got to make sure if there's a crack, God forbid, there's a bottom level crack. Okay. And you know what? The first month that you have it, they're all going to splashy and play and have a good time. Then it's 1 weekend a month. Then it's 2 weekends a year. And then then your kids move out, and it just goes to a place where you go to cry into your bourbon and put cigarettes out there because you're smoking and putting yourself to death.
Except for the fact that it just appreciated except for the fact that it appreciated the value of your house. And then when your kids move out, you can sell it, and then you can scamaz the next Jim
it appreciated
Bob.
The value of your house? No, it's already in the house. It's already priced in when you bought it, and you're going to put so much goddamn money and maintenance on it.
I thought you meant install a pool.
Oh, then you deserve to be hurt.
Yeah, well, at that point, you're going to see that back on the sale of the house. This looks like a good grill, though. Do you have a nice grill like this?
I don't. I have a fire pit that doubles up as a grill. Do you want to know why I bought the fire pit?
Because it's awesome?
No. So the HOA
we're back to the HOA. We haven't heard any HOA drama in a little bit.
So the HOA states that you cannot have a charcoal grill, right? You have to have a propane grill, right? Because they don't want the smell, they don't want the fire problems, they don't want any of that. I don't want to go out and spend money on a fucking propane grill. Why? Because it's big, it's clunky. I don't want the fucking, hazard out there. I don't want to refill the propane, and I don't use it that often, right? It's just not my thing. I don't have a big family, and my kid's still too young. So I went out and bought a fire pit that comes with a grill on top of it. So it's not a grill. It's a fire pit. I'm not using charcoal. I'm grilling with sticks that I find out in the yard, okay? And I'm grilling on the fire pit. I'm not using a grill. So
what if you put charcoal in it? You think it'll piss them off?
Well, then would it be considered a charcoal grill?
Technically, by definition of those two
because
words
the
together.
grill is the actual metal piece that goes over it.
Like if you're saying, is it charcoal and is it a grill? It's those two things. But unless it's like a more proper, like charcoal grill is like a thing.
But
like
if for some reason they say, hey, we smelled, stuff burning, I just flip that little grill piece off and say, oh, it was just our fire pit.
yeah, with the burgers and the salmon all laid out in the steak.
No, they're not gonna come to my house. It's not like my backyard is open. They'll knock on the fence. I'll just kick the fucking grill across the yard and be like, yeah, those hamburgers. Oh, we cooked those earlier and the baby dropped them. We're just sitting by the fire.
Does your HOA allow smokers?
You mean like cigarettes?
No, like a smoker, like you smoking meat.
I would assume probably not, but then again, we don't. This is South Florida. We don't exactly go out hunting bear and deer to make jerky in our backyard. So I would assume it's probably nothing. Did you know that up until just a few years ago, it was legal to have a gun range in your backyard in Florida?
No matter your acreage?
You just had to have a certain height on the back.
Oh my God. But now it's not legal.
I'm sure somebody got shot. So it's back to that whole censorship thing. God damn it.
Yeah, the baby chews while you eat steak or something like that.
You are so just negative, man.
I am?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know, but I want to attack you right now.
I said nothing, bro. I'm admiring your grill here. Your
Sometimes
fictional grill.
saying nothing is saying too much.
This is the fictional grill that you put fictional Bob and Jim at. you really,
no, actually,
built this whole thing up.
Bob and Jim were more along the lines of this grill right here. This is the grill that I saw Bob and Jim on. This is what it's actually available for curbside right now. And so this is what I was actually imagining before I pulled it up. I just saw it again. That just looks like a good, northeastern, suburban, grill, right?
I liked the sundress, the sun tea that they had, the grill, the kids running around. That was awesome, man. That was very well done.
I wanted to transport you where I was.
You told me to immerse myself, and I got really immersed. It took a minute, and I was there, man.
You saw the white picket fence. You saw the perfectly mowed grass.
I
you saw
was
the
there.
Little bushes.
Listen, I was
You saw
there.
the house with the white trimming.
But then I
whole 9
realized
yards.
I wasn't there. I had to back it out. I wasn't there. I was on a couch watching there. Like I was on a couch. It was on a TV.
But you were the guy. You were the guy sitting on there who was becoming that guy. So this was a multi-level inception thing. And so now you understand how you could utilize this day and this game to do something.
So
you're still thinking about it.
Amazon's at it. Well, I'm not still thinking. I mean, I am still thinking about it only because you're sending me pictures of grills.
I'm hungry right now.
You're sending me
and now we're talking about one of our next stories is about pickleball, and I'm thinking about pickles on a fucking burger.
Now you're just thinking about pickles. Hey, hard shift here before we get to the pickleball story. What kind of mattress do you guys use? Do you have like a really nice one, or is your mattress old and you need a new one?
I never used good mattresses in my life. I didn't sleep on a mattress the first 10 years of my life. And then I slept in shitty mattresses when I lived in the children's homes and the foster homes. Then in the military, it was just a shitty barrack bed. And then when I got out, I always just bought shitty beds. I found beds or I bought discount beds. It wasn't until my wife and I moved in together and got this house that I started realizing that, you know what? You spend a third of your life in bed. You spend a third of your life in bed, so you need to invest in it because you're going to spend money now, and it's going to be the best investment ever because it's going to save you tens of thousands of dollars down the line and a lot of pain. So we went out and we bought a nice bed, big king bed. And it's really comfortable. And then I bought a Casper for the other bedroom.
Casper, okay.
No. I got a Casper for the other bedroom, and my wife was like, my back is hurting. This is too soft. So I had to get rid of the fucking Casper mattress. I bought a topper for it and everything. And then I had to go get a different one, and she still didn't like it, so whatever. The in-laws are sleeping in the fucking living room in the baby's pin on the mat on the floor because in India, apparently the mattresses are so fucking hard that their backs are used to it. They couldn't sleep in the soft bed, so now they're sleeping in the goddamn living room.
Are you kidding me? You're not sleeping on the ground because you have too soft of a bed?
Because in India, the beds are it's just a rubber mat for the baby and her playpen, so they're in there at night.
So no one's sleeping in that bed?
No. I sleep in this room. My wife and the baby sleep in that room, and they sleep in the living room.
You guys are sleeping in different rooms right now?
We've been sleeping since the baby was born because my wife refuses to sleep train the baby. She wants to co-sleep with the baby. And I told her, I said, I can't sleep in the same bed as the baby. I only sleep 3 to 4 hours every night anyways. And when she wakes up crying and screaming, I can't. We need to sleep train her and put her in her crib and we'll sleep in the bedroom with a monitor. She said no. And so I said, All right, well then fine, fuck it. We'll sleep all in the same bed. The problem is this is a giant king bed off the top of the off the floor, and she'd fall. And I bought a very small, low to the ground Japanese style bed for the other room. So she wants to sleep in that room with the baby, but that's a queen, and we can't fit her, me, the baby, and the dog in the bed. So we don't have a choice but to sleep in separate beds. And then some nights I'll sleep with the baby, and my wife will sleep in here.
Man, that's crazy what's going on in your house right now. You guys are in separate beds. There's a dog also sleeping in a bed. You got in-laws on the floor. You got in-laws on the floor right now. That's crazy what's going on in that house, man. That's amazing. I didn't realize that the mattress question would reveal all of that. We're just in the market for a mattress, and I was trying to get a recommendation of one that's out there.
I would say
all I just heard was no Casper.
No, I loved that Casper mattress. It was great. I even bought a topper to firm it up a little bit, but I should send you the link to the bed. I don't know if you like a low to the floor bed. I don't, because I don't like to have to roll out and step up. But some people like it because they like the way it's lower and that it's more roomy in the room and everything like that. But this is a sleigh bed. It was amazing. But the Casper mattress was actually really, really nice. It was great. It was soft. I loved it, but she bitched about it, so I had to get rid of it.
Well, I want to segue back onto our run of show here. Let's shift into this. We talked about it before. Pickleball. Okay, now here you go.
I don't know what that is. Please, all I know is that it's like tennis and volleyball and ping pong together or some shit. Yeah. Explain pickleball to me.
So pickleball, I played it in middle school, and that's the last time I played it. It's like it's like if you found
I'm not talking about what happened when you were pinned behind the gym by the teacher. I'm talking about the actual sport.
So it's the middle. It's the middle.
I just have to get you one.
Yeah, you got me. That was the one.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted. Last time I forgot what it was. Something about Daddy and the Madrinas girls or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was last time. That was funny though. This time too with the pickleball. So pickleball is like the middle point between tennis and ping pong. It's like if you're gonna try to blend the two, you're at pickleball. You're standing up, on the court. You're not like around the court, but it's really small. It's a small version of tennis, man. That's really all I can. That's really the best I can do to relate to you what it is.
Badminton though?
Not really. Badminton. You're kind of like got this. You know what it's called in badminton? You know what that thing's called? The thing you hit. It's called the shuttlecock. The little ball in badminton.
You would know that.
It's called the shuttlecock. That's
what it is. Of all the random knowledge you have,
it's exactly right.
The badminton ball is called the shuttlecock.
Listen,
thank you for your in-depth trivia.
Listen, this is a show about nothing. It's like Seinfeld, the sequel. It's a show about nothing. That's called the shuttlecock.
Do you think anybody actually gets this far into the podcast?
Maybe.
If you have gotten this far into the podcast, I want you to leave the comment. No, shuttlecock.
Yep.
Just write shuttlecock in the comment. Nothing else. Just
if you get that far, if you get this far,
so we know that you got this far.
So pickleball, a paddle sport with a whimsical name, is becoming big business. This is on CNBC. It's one of the many websites we use to reference articles. CNBC.com. Here's a picture.
You're a smart ass.
Here's a picture of pickleball right here. It says why pickleball is seeing pandemic boom. Bro. So near us, obviously, the malls are going away, right? Like malls just aren't as popular as they once were. However, near us, there's a movie theater in a mall that's still really popular, and it's the only thing that gets anybody to the mall.
Movie theater in a mall. Tell me more.
No, listen, it's the only thing that gets anybody to this specific mall. And we went maybe a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, to see a movie. The Spider-Man movie when it was out, and we were walking up, and the only thing we heard in the mall, it was like a ghost town, but the only thing we could hear was kind of like, if you got Wimbledon on or whatever, it's just like you hear the grunts, the back and the forth.
Like handball.
Yeah, we looked down. Pickleball was in the mall. It's the only thing going on in the mall. There was all these people playing pickleball in the mall right outside this movie theater. Surreal use of the mall, but it says about 8 years ago when brothers Rob Barnes, then 19, and Mike Barnes, then 21, founded a pickleball paddle maker, they encountered a lot of skeptical glances. We mentioned the word pickleball. People would say, what is that? This tells kind of a more dramatic story than really what's going on, guys. It says pickleball boasted 4.8 million players last year in the U.S., a participation growth rate of 39% since 2019. And from 2020
That's nothing compared to what disc golf has been having.
Disc golf?
I've played disc golf for
Is that like
off and
frisbee
on.
golf?
Yeah, it's discs. It's not discs in the golf. I play it casually. I used to play a lot more before COVID with some friends. And I always liked it because it was a great way to get outdoors and everything like that. But last year, some guy, at the national championship, threw this crazy 200-yard shot around this, and it landed to win the championship, and it went nuts. It went viral, and since then, ESPN's picked it up. It's gone up insane. I know people who are making thousands and thousands of dollars a week, making custom discs. It's crazy right now.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, if you
speaking of movies, sorry to cut you off, but the first, Alex, I doubt you'll be down here, but I'm doing my first ever community meetup because of COVID. The weekend after Memorial Day, we're going to go watch the new Top Gun.
Oh,
so you're not going to be here, but your brother, let him know that if he wants to go watch the Top Gun with a bunch of D-gens, it's getting released on Memorial Day weekend, but I'm not going to go during that time. But the weekend after, I'm going to meet up with all my South Florida people to go watch the new
what is that, June 3rd, June 4th, June 5th?
Yeah, that weekend.
Are you going on Friday or are you going on Saturday?
Probably Saturday. I'm working with my new beverage sponsor. They're talking about possibly paying for the tickets and giving out shirts and shit. So we'll see how that works out.
Nice. It's gonna be a good time. Top Gun. The trailer is awesome. By the way, if you haven't watched the trailer of the new Top Gun movie, it is like,
I heard Val Kilmer's going to be in it. I wonder how that's going to work.
Is Val Kilmer going to be in it?
He already makes an appearance, but the only people that come back are Tom Cruise and I think one other person. That's it. Like everybody, nobody else comes back.
Who plays the lady? What's the?
Is it Connolly? Jennifer Connolly?
I don't know. Hold on.
I don't know. I'd rather go into it blind because.
Oh, I'm not gonna look it up then.
Can I tell you a crazy, funny but sad story? When I was a kid in Hawaii, going through all that crazy shit that I went through, my dad would often go from where we were living to another junkie guy's house, and they would just get high for like 2 days at a time. And we would be stuck in this little room, and they had this generator that ran electricity, very little electricity, and they had a little TV with a VCR on it and a recorded blank DVD or VCR tape, a VHS tape that had 2 movies on it. Top Gun and Lady Hawk. And that's what we would do. We would put it in and we'd watch both movies back to back, rewind it, watch movies both back to back all day long. And so I just, that was my movie, that and Lady Hawk. Those were the 2 movies I watched growing up. Is it? That was it.
I've never seen Lady Hawk. I don't know what Lady Hawk is.
It was Matthew Broderick. It was a thing about a guy who,
80s movie?
turned in. Yeah, he turned into like a
80s movie. It's probably elite because the 80s did everything right in pop culture.
From what I remember, it was great, but I'm afraid to watch it again. I just remember that the guy was only a guy at night, and then he transformed into a hawk during the day, and like his love interest, the lady, the curse, he'd fly around to try to protect her, but there was nothing they could do. Whatever. It was kind of cool.
Well, that's only about half of our run of show. We can call it, man. There's a lot of good conversation today, but not a lot of news.
They get the killer alien jellyfish. Can we open with that next time?
Yeah, let's take some of those. There's also the electric Corvettes, which are really dope. There's the lady that marries a cat, bro. I don't know.
You said you were afraid to talk about the dude who's marrying an anime doll.
I didn't say I was afraid to. I said I don't want to talk about that.
He said, I don't want to touch that.
I just don't want to touch that, bro. I don't know what to do with that.
What are you afraid you're going to get canceled by weebs?
No, it's not about being canceled. I don't know what to do with someone that marries a non-living thing.
You don't do anything with him. But I can tell you what he does with that doll.
All right, Stocky's random rant. I thought it wasn't even a doll. I thought it was like an idea. I thought he was wearing like an idea.
It's like a life doll or like a fucking like. What's funny is that in Asian cultures they're actually having a really bad problem with populations because people don't go out, they don't date, they don't have sex, they don't have babies anymore.
Sex is down.
And men are so like pussified, and I'm not saying that to like sound like some kind of tough guy, but I mean like they don't know how to talk to women, they're afraid to talk to women, that they watch live streamers, but they're all like they're just marrying and just living with fucking life dolls. It's insane. And I'll be honest with you, I get it. Okay,
I don't think you get it.
I do.
I don't think you get it.
If my wife didn't talk, it'd be so much better.
Come on, you don't get it. You don't get it. If you would have gotten it, you would have ended up with a doll.
No, because I'm not in a culture where it's acceptable. Plus,
you don't give a shit about what's acceptable or not.
I understood, don't even play that. I'll tell you why. Until they get a motorized. Never mind. All right, that's.
Guys, Stocky's random rant. Let's get it.
right, I'm just going to make this random rant clear because this is going to piss a lot of people off. It always does. But I want you to hear me out before you judge me, okay? I have a kid, so I get what I'm saying. But let me just put it this way. Can we eliminate school zones? All right. I need to say this, all right? Maybe not all school zones, but the majority of them. If you have a quote-unquote school zone and you are not directly next to a school, it is a waste of a school zone. That is a residential neighborhood, okay? If this is the front of the school where kids are walking across the street, fine. I personally think that the sons of bitches should learn to dodge, okay? I think it's a great life lesson. They learn to dodge. It's good for their heart rate. It's good for their calisthenics. It's great for timing. And you know something? It teaches them a lot of... It teaches them a lot about life, right? We had Frogger, they have this. And you know what? Sure, one or two might, get caught up as collateral damage. But you know what? Jimmy wasn't always the best swimmer anyways. So I'll give you that one. I'll let you have the school zone in front of the school, okay? First of all, we need to shorten it, okay? Second of all, instead of having fucking lights, just put up like little speed bumps that come out of the road so that we can do that, okay? Because there's always one asshole who's driving 70 through it, another guy who goes down to 0. And I'm convinced that that's just a pedophile getting his jollies off looking at the kids. I don't know why you're going that slow. No. But I'm getting off topic. My thing about school zones is that they ride these things like 40 minutes before school gets out to 40 minutes after. If your ass is leaving school 40 minutes early, you need to face the dangers of life because you're skipping school and you're probably going to end up in jail anyway. So this is a good practice. And if you're leaving school 40 minutes after, you're either a druggie or you're a band geek. And you know something? That's not my problem. But don't put school zones 6 blocks from a school. There is no need for that. Okay, I have kids all day long playing in my neighborhood. You don't see a school zone, in here. The only thing you see, and I'm assuming that it's because the guy has that one kid that has some issues, that we have a sign that says slow kids are playing. So I respect that. Okay, some kids aren't quite there as other kids. So when they alert me that there's some people that may have some challenges, I respect that. But we don't have fucking 15-mile-an-hour school zones in residential neighborhoods. Well, there's actually more schools, kids. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here.
You said that's a waste of a school zone. Are school zones? Is there a finite amount? Are they taking them out of a bag and like what? What do you mean it's a waste?
Why put a school zone 2 blocks from a school?
I don't know. I mean,
what are you going to helicopter parent kids? I mean, if my kid is down the street in the middle of the night and they get kidnapped, that's on them or me. You know what I mean? Like, I
don't know anything about schools. I don't know how they determine it. Whatever. I understand that this was your rant for the day. Some of your rants I'm fully on board with. This one, I didn't really know if I understood this one as much. But if it's the hill you wanted to die on today, that's
dying on the hill. The reason that I brought this up was because I was driving to Publix the other day. I had to make an emergency run to Publix, and it was 2:30 in the afternoon. And you know what? My rant shouldn't have been that. My rant should have been the fucking parents who park outside the school, in order to pick up their kids, but do it all the way out the school onto the road and block traffic. You fucking pieces of shit. But
okay, there we go. There's a real rant.
That should have been my rant because I just thought about that. But the reason I was pissed off was it was 30 minutes before school let out. I was in a hurry to get there because the baby was sitting in her own poop, and we ran out of wipes. And I was like, oh my god, I got to go get wipes because I got to clean her up, right? And I didn't want to use anything else because she gets irritated. And so I was running to get there, and there was a fucking school zone, 15 miles an hour. It was a mile long. There was no kids in sight, and I'm like, I'm in a rush, and I'm like, the school is way back there. Why am I in a school zone a block away 30 minutes early? I was pissed. But you know what? You're right. The rant should have been about the fucking inconsiderate shitheads who sit in their fucking car. Yeah, you can pick up my kid. Listen, man. Let your kid walk home, okay? There's a school zone.
Stocky unread. And then we'll get everybody on out of here. Stocky unread. If you guys don't know, Stocky has about 500 missed text messages in his phone dating back.
I'm down to, I'm 582.
Yeah, you're not even down to 500. You're
still increasing.
So Stocky has about 582. Well,
look at all these. Look at all these. Okay, these are in the last 2 days. All right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
God, it's all blue dots the whole way down.
Stocky has 582 missed text messages dating back to 2017. We might be in 2018 now. I don't know. I know we got out of 2016 before. But he's got all these missed text messages. What we've found is most of them were just at this stage of his life in 7 or what are you going back to, 2017?
I'm in 2018 right now.
Okay, so in 2018, it was just a lot of him not texting, his coworkers back. And you started streaming every single day at the
July
end
of 2019.
Yeah, so halfway through 2019. So this was just a situation where you're winding up, you're winding down that phase of your life. You sounded like you just lost interest in a lot of these people. They lost interest in hearing back from you because you wouldn't text them back. But what do we have right now? What is the latest one?
I wouldn't text people back, okay? It's not that I wouldn't text people back. It's that it popped up.
So you wouldn't even read the text to know that
it wasn't important at the time, or it was somebody I didn't know, or it was something that wasn't going on, and I just forgot, okay? That happens to me all the time.
Apparently.
It is not that I care or whatever. All right, whatever.
That's the whole point of this segment, is that it happens to you all the time.
Wow. This is a tough one if my wife listens to it. So we got a dog when we started dating, and I got I wanted to get a dog, but I wanted to, I was really big into getting one that was an older dog that, needed some, just some love or whatever like that. So we went to the shelter, and stop checking the time. Okay. I'm almost done. Went to the shelter, and we were looking at these dogs. We didn't find one. Long story short, bleeding hearts, found this old beagle that wasn't moving, was waiting to check another dog. He finally came up, kind of was sniffing me, was kind of friendly. They were really surprised. We kind of bonded. He had a big wart on his back, and he had a lot of problems. He was really fucked up, and they're like, yeah, he's got like 3 to 6 months to live. So I ended up leaving with him. I'm like, you know what? Let me give you the best 3 to 6 months you ever had. He ended up living for 2 years. Best dog, one of the best dogs I ever had. My wife's first dog, and he ended up getting lymphoma at the end. And we tried everything to help him out, and then one day it was just he just couldn't take it anymore, and so we had to let it go, and we had to put him down. And we brought him in the house. We brought them to the house, and we put him down. We gave him a cheeseburger, and we put him down. It was tough. That's the only time my wife's ever seen me cry. She's never seen me cry in 6 years, and that's the first time she's ever seen me cry, and the last. But we ended up getting him cremated, and I still have his ashes right over there. But apparently, they said, "Hi, this is Corey with Compassionate Cremations." I said, "Hi, Corey. I emailed the instructions to the whatever." Oh, wait, never mind. This is from my dad getting cremated. Okay, let's move on to a different one. Wow, that was the wrong year. Okay, this is getting weird because we remember last time we were in that same thing with where my dad was. Yeah, okay, I just made this weird.
It's following that last text message that you got.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right.
It didn't get weird. It didn't get weird. You were just reading. You thought it was a different story.
Yeah, because I forgot about my father getting cremated as well. I have his ashes in the other room too.
So so listen, you just satisfied it. That's the stocky unread. You read the text message. It was about that, which is obviously a very somber follow-up to last episode. Obviously, this was at that point in your life. If you want to clear some of those, it would make 100% sense. Clear some of those. And then where it gets back to, the funny stuff of people saying, "Hey, I'm outside the American Airlines arena waiting for you," and then you just never respond, and then you just leave them out to dry.
Here's one from a week later. I wrote, "Good afternoon. We spoke last month about cleaning services. Do you have availability next week?" And they texted back, "Hi, I have Sunday and Monday available as of right now, but I never saw it."
Well, they probably got the hint. They probably understood what was
probably.
up. Guys, this was episode.
Sorry, I hope you found a job.
Here, put in the comments, type shuttlecock. If you got this far, type shuttlecock.
No, that's not this far. It was the other one. Somebody's going to write shuttlecock twice now.
This was episode 22 of the Stock Guy and Alex Show, the podcast covering topics around the world, business, news, money, markets, and sports. Guys, when people talk about it, Stocky and I talk about it. The Stock Guy and Alex Show can be watched, listened, and viewed on YouTube and Spotify. And guys, follow the show on all the socials, guys, Twitter, Insta, LinkedIn, TikTok, especially on Twitter, because it's going to be one of the last remaining bastions of free speech that the 21st century has come to know. So, guys, we will see you next time on the Stock Guy and Alex Show. Guys, we'll be back next week. Stocky, any final words?
Yeah, if my wife is listening to this, babe, my portfolio is down $52,000 this past week, but I want you to know that it's not a loss until we sell, okay?
One love, guys.
Bye.